My name is Bernard Pastor. We came to the United States when I was 3 years old. I think it was 1996. And we've been here ever since, which is now 17 years. Can't even do math. I'm here at Xavier, and I started off studying business, but I think I might switch over to theology or something else, communications or something, because I think that interests me a lot more than business. But yeah, living here, I've lived here in Cincinnati for 10 years now, and this is my home, and this is where I've grown up, and this is all I've known. So. Why we came, I know now, being religious and political persecution and lots of underlying issues that threaten our family, and we came to the United States to file for asylum. From that, the asylum was denied, and it baffles me because my uncle actually applied for the exact same asylum under the exact same conditions, but it was granted to him. But it was denied for our family, so I don't know why that happened. But so for me, the pursuit of my dreams haven't been, I'm trying to accomplish the American dream. I think for me, it's just I'm trying to accomplish my dreams. I just happen to be in America, and I think the cliche of the American dream is open your business and hand it down to your kids and have prosperity. And I think that's you can find that anywhere. So it's not just an American thing. In November 17th, 2010, I delivered Bibles for the church, and I was an offender bender, and I rear-ended someone. It wasn't really, nothing really happened to the cars, but that escalated. The officer came, and then he saw that I didn't have any identification, and he ran the numbers and found out that I didn't have documents, and I was here. As much as I don't like this word, I was here, quote unquote, illegally. So that escalated into something quite rapidly, and I was processed and prepared for deportation within days. So I was in Springdale, or Butler County Jail, and then I went up to Morrill County, which is north of Columbus, which is the penultimate stop before you get sent back. So I was there, and Mark Curnew from the Cincinnati Enquirer came to interview, which to this day I don't know how he found out about me. And I honestly don't know. It just kind of happened, and he heard about me, and he came to interview in Butler County Jail. And when that story got out in the Cincinnati Enquirer, my friends and people in Cincinnati that I knew saw the story and were shocked and completely caught off guard because they didn't know that I didn't have documents. And it comes back to, they didn't know because they never asked, and they never asked because I was so American, and so they just, thought, well, he's just like us, so how wouldn't he be American? And so that caused them to start marches and rallies and Facebook pages and Twitter pages, and it escalated, and I actually didn't know the magnitude of it because I was in jail, but when someone would call me or tell me this is going on, I would realize, this is, they're fighting for me, and they're doing something to keep me here. So they continued to fight, and they sent letters and requests to Senator Brown, and then Representative Driehaus, which was from my precinct, and seeing what they could do, and they actually wrote a joint letter to Department of Homeland Security, who then issued a 3-week hold on me, so I wouldn't be able to. So they wouldn't deport me. So in those 3 weeks, we were trying to figure out what could be done, and through connections, a professor named Leo Pearson from Cincinnati State, he is great friends with my current attorney now, David Leopold, and he came down and he saw me and said, this is what I want to do. I want to try to see if we can get some type of reprieve or I don't know, something that can at least get you out. So I don't know, what the terms were or what they spoke about, but he wrote a letter requesting deferred action, which is what I'm on now. It was granted exactly 1 month after I was in jail. December 17th, I got out. And the deferred action gives me a worker's permit for a year, and I have to renew it every year. That escalated into something even bigger because they wanted me to go to DC right after. My first thought was, okay, I'm out, I want to go home. But they said, no, like, we need you to come to DC. And I called my father. I said, well, what do you want me to do? And he said, well, you're out, and that's all that matters. I know that you're coming home. So, it's time for you to do what you need to do and fight for this. So I went to DC, and I was actually there in the Senate gallery for the vote, and we were 5 votes short. But one of the things that I learned throughout the whole thing was, is patience. I think that when are we truly going to meet someone who has patience, like truly has patience? And I looked at everyone around me after the vote happened, and everyone was so torn and sad about the result. And I told them, that doesn't mean we failed. It just doesn't mean it's not. It just means it's not time yet. I think I'm taking a different approach on it. A lot of people, when they go to speak about the Dream Act, they sit there and they talk about the politics of it. Whenever I speak at other campuses or an interview, I talk about who I am. And so the story side of the Dream Act, and I think that because the Dream Act affects so many young people, we need to know their stories and what are they actually striving for. People look at the Dream Act and they say there need to be issues in the Dream Act that need to be fixed, and I agree. That's perfectly fine. But I think that the longer we wait, I think that the more issues start to arise and arise, and when are we going to do something about it? Because these kids are, if you wait, the longer you wait, the less these kids have a chance at fulfilling their dreams, because they're going to be 22, 23, 24, and then finally going to be applying for college, and then they're going to have, to a certain extent, they might be discouraged by that time and not even want to go to college. I don't know, it comes down to every individual story, but I think that it's something that we need to do, and then see what the outcome is, see what the results are. There are going to be pros and there are going to be cons, it's like any other bill, but I think that we need to consider, I think, in my opinion, that, the pros outweigh the cons, because, we're giving a chance to thousands and thousands of students that can do something to contribute.